Look me in the eye.
I went to go see a show and I was driving home and I said, I don't put any music into the world because I'm not a musician. I said, I want to do something. And I said, I'm going to start a music festival. Turned around the next day, came back to the Book Bar. That's where I seen the show. I said to the guy there, will you let me run a music festival? I'll do it for a non-profit that I'm involved with. And he said, hey man, have a beer, let's do it.
He reached out, pitched the idea to me, and without a question, I was like, absolutely, let's do it.
Sometimes all you have to do is ask.
A lot of people warned me along the way, don't do this, you'll be up late hours. It's really hard to pull off, and they were 100% right, but here we are. Music has had such an impact on my life and meant so much to me. You know, growing up in the streets of Lawrence, I got myself in a lot of trouble that I would carry around a boombox with me everywhere I went. But in truth, that boombox was carrying me because that music made me feel safe. It made me feel protected. When you're in the arms of somebody you love, you feel both vulnerable and safe at the same time. That's what music did for me.
I have been a musician at parts of my life, and when Joel spoke last week at the Story Collider, it was super moving to hear him talk about how music was associated with him for mental health, because at the same time, I know Jim and I have known each other for a long time, and we say the exact same things.
His spirit, you know, in music runs so deep. I think when somebody's so passionate about sharing something that they just resonate and it becomes real.
He's the heart and soul of all of this, and you know, he doesn't have the background in any of these things. He's just took all of the best parts of what he's experienced in the music world and what he would want out of an event.
Joel just works really, really hard on this specifically. I've never seen one person do so much of their own hands-on promo. You know, he's got his community center that he runs, and I think that's just the kind of guy he is. I think he just absolutely commits himself to everything he does.
It's amazing how he builds this up all year long. The bands he chooses for the lineup, it's like really well curated, and I'm blown away by the spirit behind the whole thing.
Hey guys, that was the Wolff Sisters. Give them another hand. We have Def.GRLS coming on next from Brooklyn.
We're Def.GRLS. Thank you, Joel Greer. So I hope you guys are ready to get like 1,000% weirder.
Yep, I'm ready to go! We kind of knew that we were going to be the odd man out, but we embraced it. It went down a lot better than I expected. Because, you know, you would think like bookstore quiet, just like it was one of our funnest shows that we played in a long time.
We've got a question for all of you guys. What would you be lucky to die from?
Surfing a 10-foot wave!
Surfing a 10-foot wave, let's do it! We'd be lucky to die from surfing a 10-foot wave! We'd be lucky to die!
Flying a kite.
Oh yeah! Yes, yeah! We'd be lucky to die flying a kite! We'd be lucky to die! We'd be lucky to die!
The only thing I can say about that is there needs to be more of that in the world today, man. That was awesome. I mentioned earlier, we have so many great musicians that have come by just to hang out. Earlier, I ran into Emily and Jake. They're an up-and-coming band out of Portland, Maine. They're fantastic. And I said to them, hey man, grab a guitar and play. And they said, let's do it. So they set up outside right now.
My favorite song was any song I knew, yeah. Oh, hey,
It's just an amazing eclectic group of musicians that
So talented.
are so talented. Oh my god.
Yeah, as the Sparrow just rocked out. Some serious stuff.
Out,
It was
yeah.
super fun.
So like the fabulous Joel said, we are as the Sparrow. Thank you so much for coming out to Summit Indie Fest and selling it out. This is our first time playing at Book Bar, but we'd love to make it a more regular thing. We have merch for sale over here. We go by the Venmo honor system while we're playing. Just Venmo us and we believe you. I want to quickly give another shout out to Joel for putting this all together. Thank you so much.
As the Sparrow from Boston, thought they had some really great energy. Loved them. Can't wait to invite them back.
Today is going fantastic, man. So many great people here. I'm so blessed to have so many great musicians and great fans too, and great people just here to love music.
I feel like as a society, as a culture, we're kind of obsessed with true crime. We're obsessed with these atrocities. And I watch all the documentaries and I listen to all the podcasts, and I think it's fucked up. That being said, I wrote a song called Serial Killer. Serial killer, serial killer, serial. Feel free to sing along, not many words. Serial killer, serial killer. Serial killer, serial killer, serial killer, serial killer. Thank you, Joel.
This year we added more acts. A couple different genres of music are involved this year.
Just to see inside, I am not involved. Less is me and mine. Everyone around me gon' rap. On the floor, but I enjoy the lines. Fathers know the lines. Kinda borderline. Mighty more for time. All people want is a rock. They put 10K in your head.
Every single time I come here, you meet the coolest people, the nicest, most genuinely hardworking, good musicians who are in the music industry for the right reasons.
Yeah, just to meet so many other talented musicians. There's so many connections that happen online and with social media, but like once you actually meet them in person, I feel like it's a whole different expand your
Be
actual
friends.
community. Yeah, oh right, be like real friends. Fake
That's
friends.
the most awkward part, when you know someone from offline and then you see them in person, you're like, oh, I've seen you.
Cause I be drinking just to solve my issues. I spent 200 on some scratching tickets. Rule number one, don't trust no politicians. Rule number two, stay out your mama's business. I ain't got time for all that contradiction. It seems like no one got no common sense here. Y'all are pretty cool,
Doing music, things like this Indie Music Fest, I could say it's really great for the bands and their exposure and all that, but really, honestly, music is a means for people getting together, and that's really the goal. Really, for me, that's what it's about, is having a place where people make a memory. good music, we'll do that.
You know, there's so much bad in the world, but like I feel like the one thing that like keeps all our heads above the water is our joy for amazing music. Joel, thank you for having us. We had such a blast.
No, man, you guys are awesome. I mean,
we're so honored that you asked us to play. It was like a no-brainer.
No, man, I'm honored to have you. Thank you guys so much. Love you too, man.
Turn around. I'm gonna have Carissa Johnson jump up on that bookshelf and play some tunes for you.
Indie Music Fest, this is the second year in a row that we've gotten to do this, and we love this venue and we love that cause, so thanks for helping us support all that.
So I am the development director for Joel's nonprofit, Team Summit, and I also happen to be his girlfriend.
I grew up in the city of Lawrence and kind of had a hard life there and wanted to go back and make a difference. And we work with kids with youth development, and we give 100% of the proceeds back to the city of Lawrence and those kids.
Hey guys, I just want to introduce our last closing band of the night. I ran into them last year and they said, hey Joel, you know, I asked them to play at this festival, and they usually play a little bigger venues, and they were like, yeah, we'll play, as long as we don't have a show that night. They ended up having a show the same night as the festival last year in Boston. They couldn't do it. I ran into them again. Hey, remember the festival? They said we're in. So, from the bottom of my heart, I want to welcome Kingsley Flood, and please give him a big hand.
Kingsley Flood, we are very so happy to be here. Thank you so much to Joel and to the Summit Indie Fest for having us. This is a real pleasure. This is like the coolest venue ever. With Dime Tennessee, and come and go where there's armchair hot and rocking chair. So when the customers come with the name you can't sound, says this whole town is going down. This whole town is going down.
The one thing I have learned is that I made so many awesome friends, and there's so many people within the music industry willing to help each other out. I think it's like on a spiritual level, you know, you feel like you're part of something, you feel like you're part of a movement, and that you're putting good energy out there. And there's a bunch of people around doing it with you, and that's what it feels like.
This is exactly what he's looking for out of a music event. And we learn from the things that worked last year and the things that didn't. And who knows what next year is going to bring. You know, there's always that toss-up between, do you make it bigger or do you keep it this intimate size and just really bring something of immense quality? We take a little bit of a break. We're going to New York City, a couple of days, get started again when we get back. So we take a little bit of a break, about a week, and then start planning for next year.
Thank you very much, everyone.